Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for IDW Sonic the Hedgehog issue 39. When we last left our heroes, Sonic, Tails, and Amy were still kind of trapped in this sort of between zone thing. They were gotten caught in sort of some weird dimension Eggman was creating, I think was sort of the vibe there. And they eventually entered into another Eggman experiment zone that's sort of this weird suburbia thing, where they ran into these like combination badniks. Meanwhile, Tangle and Belle had kind of snuck onto the base where Sonic, Tails, and Amy sort of initially arrived, but did not end up in the sort of dimensional area. Instead, they're kind of snooping around. Belle kind of came out as a badnik to Tangle, and wants to get to Eggman to get some answers as to how she came to be. And then now the combination badniks are sort of coming towards Sonic, Tails, and Amy, where they are. And Belle and Tangle are just kind of vibing, I think. So let's jump right on into issue 39. There were stories so far, which is basically everything I just said. Our roll call for Sonic, Amy, Tails, Tangle, and Belle. Basically everyone we would expect after last issue. And we open with Orbot and Cubot. And Belle and Tangle kind of hiding behind some crates. As Orbot says, "Come on, let's keep the test chamber supplied. New monstrosities coming right up." And we see what looks like a roulette wheel, kind of like randomly generating badnik mixtures. And so Cubot sort of spins the lever and they start to spin. What do you think it'll be this time? Ooh, that's a new one. And it comes out, it's sort of praying mantis torso onto the sort of purple centipede bottom half. And Cubot looks at it. I wouldn't want to get on that guy's bad side. And Orbot agrees. A surprisingly effective combination. And Cubot sort of waves him off as it kind of like slithers to the portal. Have fun wreaking havoc. And Belle and Tangle are watching this. Belle whispers, "Do you think they're sending those things after Sonic and the others?" And Tangle tells her, "I got this. Sit tight and watch a master at work." And then they make another one. This time one of the beetle front halves with a fish back half. It just sort of flops there. And Orbot looks at it. Not the best. And Cubot, maybe it'll get a hit in if it flails extra hard. And then Tangle in the background sort of smacks some wiring over, it looks like. And Cubot sort of looks at it in a sort of panic. "Oh dear, I spent 4 hours stacking those alphabetically." And Cubot looks at him. "Why?" Which is a vibe right there. It helps with my anxiety. And Tangle then wraps them up with her tail, having sprung her trap. And she sort of like dusts her hands. "Gotcha. Works every time. Most of the time." And Orbot sort of looks around. "Oh dear." Cubot, "The boss isn't going to be happy about this." So in pretty quick succession, Tangle has sort of beaten Orbot and Cubot, and at least until Eggman shows up, she's kind of gotten rid of or captured the highest hierarchy of the base. But anyway, time to go back to the actual main drama of the arc with Sonic, Tails, and Amy. Sonic calls, "Whatever you're up to, Eggman, it's not gonna work." But Eggman taunts him. "On the contrary, it's working splendidly. Every move you three make, every trick or trap you wheedle your way around. Why, that's all data on how I can make my technology even better in the future." And we see... Oh, I think he's coming from the stove. I was kind of like confused about the fire, but he's been speaking through all these kitchen appliances. And I think it's the stove's turn, and it's kind of his voice is somehow making it like flare up. "And oh, I can't wait to see how you handle what I've been cooking next." And then I don't know what's going on right there, because what looks like a charred animal like, falls and breaks a table? My first instinct is that it's that stuffed animal behind the stove, but that doesn't really make any sense. The body proportion is not even close to being right for that. So I have no idea what that's supposed to be, and I might just be very tired. It is 1:30 here, um, and I wanted to get out one more video before I went to bed. We're gonna see how much of a mistake that is. Um, but like, I might just be too tired to make sense of that. But I don't think I am. I think that's just not really making any sense there. Um, anyway, Eggman continues to taunt as the flames sort of come all around them. Why don't you come out so I can show you? And they're sort of forced out thanks to the fire. But we see what looks like a leg sort of in the foreground of this top panel here. And Sonic sort of spin dashes out as Amy and Tails kind of gotta crawl. And Sonic asks, "You got that thing calibrated to track the bots yet, bud?" And Tails sort of like coughing up smoke. "I think so, yes. The Badnik's comm signals are emanating from that direction," and he points some way or another. And Sonic grabs Tails and Amy's hands. I really love that. Nice. All aboard the Hedgehog Express. We're getting out of here. And so they're right about to run off when some kind of shaking comes and sort of throws them all up into the air, along with all the combo Badniks. And Sonic looks around. This can't be good. And then we hear a scream. Okay. And everyone, so what we see is all of a sudden the ground is now above Sonic, Tails, and Amy. And Amy calls, "What's happening?" And Tails looks around. Eggman must be able to control gravity in this space. And Sonic just grabs Amy's hand. Something for all you Son Amy shippers. Explicitly Amy. Though more logically, just because Tails can fly. Never like gravity much anyway. And he starts to, sort of bounce off of the Badniks around him to sort of get some movement going. And then he kind of grabs one of the chimneys of one of the houses, which, just a little bit of a side note. I've long had an irrational fear of, since I was like middle school, of like gravity just randomly flipping one day and everyone dying. So this issue is doing wonders for me. Anyway, Sonic, not dying by virtue of, barely holding on to the lip of a chimney upside down. Okay, falling into the void is officially postponed. What now? And Tails looks at his little readout. I don't know. I'm not picking up any sort of unusual readings. And Sonic looks around at all the falling Badniks, and it doesn't look like things are gonna flip back anytime soon. And Tails looks at him. What? Oh, and Sonic looks down into the void. Okay. And Tails asks him, "You want to go with it? We have no idea what's down. I mean, up there." But Sonic tells him, he said he wanted to show us something, and Eggman would never throw away a chance to show off. And he can't do that if we're dead. It's plausible. And Amy jumps in. A leap of faith. How romantic. And they go for it. And Sonic kind of looks away, kind of embarrassed. I didn't mean it like, oh, never mind. I will say, one thing that's sort of been nagging in the back of my brain ever since Evan Stanley took over is I'm not the biggest fan. I really love the way that Ian Flynn wrote Sonic and Amy. How Amy, had her crush on Sonic, and it's still an important part of her character, but her defining thing is, her leadership in the Restoration, her sort of working to make the world a better place. And, going back to, I think it's issue 2, our first Sonic Amy interaction of the series, it's very much, Amy being, okay, I like you, but I have to go back and help the Resistance. And pretty much ever since, so the first kind of peeling away of that part of her characterization is Amy giving up the Restoration. which happened during Ian Flynn's run, but it happened in sort of the epilogue to Ian Flynn's run. So I'm curious if that was part of Evan Stanley's kind of what she wanted for the characters. To sort of, which then allows her to sort of lean in on Amy the romantic. I don't know. I really liked Amy the sort of world leader. And this is a minor complaint, especially on this page where it's really not that big a deal. But it's something that's kind of been nagging at me for months. So I sort of wanted to voice it here. Anyway, leap of faith, how romantic. And as the group falls, I didn't mean it like, oh, never mind. And Amy winks at him. You better hold me extra tight, Sonic. They still are kind of cute together, though. Evan Stanley's not gotten rid of that. Anyway, as they're falling, Tails sort of turns to Sonic. We should have tried to gather more evidence, but Sonic stops him. Stay cool. Any second now. And just then, this sort of, like, line cube appears. We can see, like, the outer, like, it's sort of two cubes, one inside the other kind of thing. Like a wireframe. And Sonic says, "Ha! What did I tell you? One dramatic showdown coming up." And the group sort of lands on the surface of the cube. It's not just, it must be just, like, glass or clear something or another. But Sonic calls up, "All right, Eggman, we're here. Come on out, and let's get this done." Actually, hold on. Are they inside the cube? Because the cube kind of changes from clear and or black to white. But it happens all around the group, implying that they're sort of inside of it now. Okay, I guess that's just sort of the weird nonsense logic of the in-between zone. Or maybe, because we see they're now in a room surrounded by a bunch of portals. Which could be, I think, last issue they're mentioned being like 5 testing zones. So they could be in like the hub for all 5 testing zones. Which could put them back in the real world with Tangle and Belle? Maybe, possibly, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, Sonic says, "Stay close, guys." And just then, it looks like a boss from one of the adventure games, but I'm not quite sure if it actually is. It's a sort of giant snake-like thing. It's got something that could be the sort of like Eggmobile, but orange, kind of put into its head. It's definitely a boss fight. And either Eggman or just Eggman's voice coming from the bot says, "Let's dance, rodent." And it starts sort of zapping at Sonic. "Tails!" But Sonic goes for Amy instead. As Tails gets out of the way on his own. Gah! And it looks like Eggman is inside the thing. And he kind of taunts at them. "Not bad, is it? I'm going to enjoy this." And it sort of like circles around them like a boss fight. And Amy comments, "That one is not very cute." And Tails sort of examines it. "A high voltage charge like that is really dangerous." But Sonic kind of assures them, "I've dealt with this kind of bot before. A new coat of paint and some new bells and whistles won't be enough to stop all 3 of us." And Amy cheers, "Yeah!" But Eggman sort of counters, "You 3 won't be so confident after you get a load of this." There's a classic Eggman line. But Amy looks at it, "I've got this one." And so it's sort of throwing this kind of one of the circle spike things on its side. Sorry, I'm just late at night and words are escaping me sometimes. Anyway, so he throws a thing at the group and Amy deflects it with her hammer. Deflects it back at Eggman. It does some damage, like a good Sonic boss fight. I feel like I'm going to say that a lot during this fight. Anyway, Sonic sort of jumps up towards it. "Nice! Let's follow it up, Tails!" And the 2 of them run after it. And Sonic, I feel like I'm saying more ums than usual. It's starting to annoy even me. But anyway, Sonic sort of bounces off of, spin dashing and jumping towards the center of the thing where Eggman is. And as he tries to go towards it, He is shocked by the electricity, which is not a good look for him. But Tails gets him out of it. Are you okay? Ugh, yeah. Can you get me a clear shot of the cockpit? I'll try. And Tails throws Sonic towards the cockpit. It actually hits this time, cracking the glass. And the machine falls. Like I said, no match for us. Might as well call it quits now, Doc. But from the smoke, Eggman says, but we've only just begun. Revealing himself as a hologram. He has not been here the entire time. Ooh boy, that's 1 point for you. Let's see how you do in round 2. And the bot blows up, leaving the trio, a little more tired than they were before, but not really all the worse for wear. Amy runs up to Sonic, as is Tails, but Amy's the one who says, what was that all about? I don't know, but whatever he's up to, I think that was just an appetizer. And we see at least 3 of the portals start to shine around them. Get ready for the main course. And now we see what's basically the same bot as earlier, but now in blue, red, and green instead of orange. And Eggman taunts them, 3 on 3. Now it's a fair fight. And we see Eggman is somewhere in like a cave or something, under like a VR headset controlling them. Don't worry, I won't crush you too quickly. I haven't had this much fun in ages. So yeah, it's kind of the first time we've seen Eggman in like the central villain role since like mid Metal Virus Saga, when he got ousted by the fucking Deadly Six. And it's nice to see him just sort of making a nuisance of himself. Like this particular battle in particular, does not really have any grand, like he's not trying to do anything in the moment. He's sort of like doing some like vague tests. But now Sonic is here, and God, he's gonna beat up Sonic. It's simple. It's simple. It's just nice. It's good. Anyway, he's also, I think he's controlling them with his body. He's like kicking and punching to sort of control the individual. I think Egg Viper is the boss they're reminding me of. Let me see if I can Google it real fast. Yeah, looking up the Egg Viper. I think they are based off the Egg Viper. So he's controlling the Egg Viper, with his fist. And the red one, so he kind of like punches forward, and the red one starts to shoot flames down at the trio. Who's ready to heat things up? And Amy sort of jumps at it. You jerk! Your puns aren't even that good! And with that, she sort of like tries to deflect the fire with her hammer, and it mostly works. Her dress slightly catches fire, and she calls, fire, help! And then she and Sonic are caught up in the Blue Viper's giant hose. So they're now soaking wet. Tails gets out of the way. Sonic, Amy! And he sees a hand in the like floodwaters, and he picks it up, and it's Amy's. Woo! Nice catch! And Tails looks at her. Where's... and we see that Sonic is... So apparently they're on like a cliff's edge or something, because they're apparently over an abyss of some kind. And Sonic is only surviving because his foot is like wrapped around Amy's hammer. And Amy just says, "At least I'm not on fire anymore." And then the 3 of them are caught up in tornadoes, made by the green Egg Viper's powers. And as they sort of land back on the ground, alive, but kind of beat up, Eggman calls, I say that's a point for me and my genius. Time for the tiebreaker. And with that, we cut back to Tangle and Belle, who have captured Orbot and Cubot. And Cubot tells them, do what you will. We'll never tell you where your friends are. And Tangle looks at him. Oh, that's fine. You know, I'm beginning to have second thoughts. It'd be really dangerous to try and save them. I could get hurt, or worse. Oh, I see. She's trying to like egg them into making what they would think is a bad decision. Hmm. Hmm. That'd be really bad for me, don't you think? And Cubot says, "Oh, in that case," just turns around. Orbot is kind of game to her tricks, though. No, Cubot, it's reverse psychology. We talked about this. I love the idea that they know they're so stupid. They have to like work through what they do in the most basic of reverse psychology concepts. Like, there's something just really funny about that. I'm sorry. Um, and Tangle sort of like tisk tisks. Dang it! I was sure that would work. But Orbot says, any second now, a troop of egg pawns will arrive. But Belle stops him. Oh yeah, no. I've redirected them. Yeah, so thank you, Belle, and your fantastic skill around Eggman tech. Anyway, Belle calls Tangle over. Tangle, I think I've got something. Uh, and and Cubot turns to Orbot. Who is that? Is she one of ours? I don't know. This is a live feed. We're cut back to Belle, who's showing Tangle the fight with the Egg Vipers. Thankfully, listed as Viper 01, so it is in fact an Egg Viper. Whoa, we gotta get in there. Where are they? Is it close? I love that Tangle seems so excited for this. She's not really worried. She has enough faith in Sonic that, like, she has no doubt that Sonic is going to win, but she wants to be there for the fight. And we love that for her. But Belle says, I don't know. I can't find it anywhere on the schematic of the tower. And then she points to one of the portals. Those gate-looking things are all over this place, though. Oh, yeah. I might be able to figure out which ones are connected. Oh, no, that's Tangle with the first line, and then Belle. But then she looks around at just the sheer number of portals. Just in the one room they're in. Although it might take a while. And then she gets to work. Oh boy, let me see if I can narrow it down. But Tangle stops her. Don't bother. I've got an idea. And then she loudly calls to the bots. Oh, I guess I'd better start trying out these gates. Here I go. It's very clear she's trying to get some kind of reaction out of the bots. And he moves towards one. And then she doesn't get a response, so she moves to another one. Psych, I'm trying this one. And Cubot snaps, not that one. And Tangle's like, I've got him. And she teases, oh, would that be a bad gate for me to go through? And I think that's Orbot, but it might be Cubot instead. Yes, no, oh dear. And we see Tangle looking mighty proud of herself. And that's how you get it done. And then, so I'm trying to work out what exactly she does. Okay, so she ties her tail to one of the poles. I think so that if she goes in, she can kind of come back out real easy. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Orbot and Cubot at this point with her tail tied up there, because her line is, you keep an eye on these two while I'm in there, okay? I don't know where they are right now, because at a certain point, how does she tie her tail up without... It seems like it'd be a lot of work. She'd have to be, like, spinning Orbot and Cubot around at the same time, right? I don't know. I'm at that point where I'm definitely overthinking this, because that's what happens to me at 1:45 in the morning. Anyway, you keep an eye on these two while I'm in there, okay? And Belle looks at her. Well, oh no. You're going to jump into it. And Tango's just excited. Yup. And Belle, rails into her. Are you nuts? Gears and starters, even if it does get you there, we have no idea how it works. What if your molecules get scrambled? Or I don't know, half of you ends up in the middle of the ocean instead. And we see Belle as, highly protective here. And I'm curious if it's Tangle is maybe the closest thing to a friend she has at this point, and she's super protective of her. If it's she knows more about Eggman tech due to her being Eggman tech, and she's just a little bit uncomfortable with anyone getting near it. I don't know. Anyway, but Belle tells her, Give me a little more time with this thing so we're sure. Tangle counters. You saw how the fight was going for them. They need help now. No time for second guessing. But whatever happens, happens. Trusting your gut and accepting the consequences is just what heroes do. Trust me on this. We see Tangle getting ready to like run in, and Belle just sort of quietly, okay. And I'm curious about the decision to sort of focus on her feet there. Almost like it's hiding her face is my sense. It sort of adds to the sense of her being sort of defeated. I don't know. Anyway, Tangle runs in. Here goes nothing! And as she runs through, the issue ends. Next time, through the gate. And we have our little next month preview of this is going to be one of the covers. Maybe not the one we actually get. But it's Sonic, Tails, and Amy beating up on the Red Viper. With it looks like all of the Vipers are depicted as being red there. But either way, we also get some clean versions of this issue's various covers. With our main one, Sonic, Tails, and Amy falling through the sky. Eggman in his VR set. Belle surrounded by egg pawns, which did not actually come to fruition at all. And that's it. So yeah, anyway, this issue was a lot of fun. It's a lot more plot heavy than like character heavy. Like there's a lot of things happening. If that makes any sense. It was just not a complaint. I feel like I worded that just enough to sound like I'm complaining about things happening, which is not the vibe I was going for. But you know, we see Tangle is very much sort of, you know, as she kind of puts it later, trust your gut and accept the consequences. You know, act first, think later. With, you know, her quick sort of solutions to all of her problems. We see in the beginning she sort of makes a quick distraction and is very easily able to capture Orbot and Cubot. And so far, it's worked very well for her in this arc. You know, nothing bad has really happened to her yet, which admittedly is everything that Tangle the Lemur deserves. She deserves the world, she deserves to be happy, and to just kick ass. Alright, I'm not saying, you know, she suffered enough. She suffered enough during the Metal Virus saga. She can be done. She can be safe for a while. Just kick ass and be an action hero. That's all my girl needs. So yeah, that's really all we get from her, from that whole subplot. And Belle is, you know, much more cautious. We also kind of see that in last issue, as Belle is like so scared, so cautious about revealing her status as a badnik to Tangle. And Tangle, you know, is trusting her gut and accepting the consequences, as she says. And so, yeah, a lot of, as much as there is character work in this issue, it really is with Belle and Tangle. Whereas when we cut back to Team Sonic, they're sort of just dealing with the madness of the testing zone, as gravity flips all of a sudden due to Eggman's sort of control of the dimension, which leads to a fight with an Egg Viper that they deal with pretty handily, until Eggman summons the elemental Egg Vipers. And yeah, it's some fun action set pieces. Not a whole lot to say there. The one thing I am going to say is a bit of confusion as to last issue and the first part of this issue sort of made it seem like the combination badniks were the big thing. And it's curious that they just sort of disappear pretty early into this issue. I will say it's for the best. The combination badniks weren't terribly threatening, in the way that the trio of elemental Egg Vipers are. But yeah, I'm kind of curious what that's all about. But I imagine we'll see. If the combination badniks come back at all. If they don't come back this arc, they could always show up in another arc. They're the kind of things that could just show up as random mooks. But yeah, this issue was a lot of fun. Really for its Tangle and Belle stuff, which is really good. But next time should be the end of Test Run, which I believe comes out on June 9th, assuming there are no more delays, which it's IDW Sonic, there are going to be several delays, so after that. And then we're back to Ian Flynn for a little while. So yeah, we'll see how Evan Stanley runs and wraps up her first run of the comic. I'm not entirely sure. I've had the slightest sense that like they're gonna be trading head writer duties for various arcs. So I'm not quite sure it's fair to say ending Stanley's run on the comic. But anyway, we'll see how she wraps up this arc next time. So I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the issue and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!